Good morning, everybody.
Hi.
Happy Valentine's Day. I'm in red. Trevor's in some pink this morning. We hope that you are going to have a great Valentine's Day today. It's always kind of a fun day. I have two little boys. They're 9 and 7, and so we had to gear up for parties at school today.
Do you give out Valentines?
Oh, yes, you still give out Valentines, and we did not give candy, but you still give like the little piece of candy or the cheesy little gift, that goes with it. That's probably going to break in 20 minutes. But anyway,
I missed that. But I got a text this morning from my future daughter-in-law wishing me happy Valentine's Day. They're so sweet, my little lovebirds. They're getting married in October.
That's awesome.
So it makes it a sweet Valentine. And they're getting married in one of my favorite places, Rose Hill.
Rose Hill, yep. No, that'll be really beautiful, and it's such a nice venue in our community to be able to provide. Yes.
Beautiful.
Well, Trevor and I, as we were thinking about what we were going to kind of talk to you about today, we thought about how it would be nice to highlight some of the things we love, since it's Valentine's Day, about our community. So I do the tours for the physicians that come in through our hospital system, so through Nash UNC Healthcare, and Trevor actually handles the tours for the Boyce Willis Medical System. And so it's really nice that's even before somebody buys a house. That's really just if they are interested in our community, if they're interested in working at either of those healthcare facilities and they get to tour our community, these are some of the things that we love to talk to them about. Don't you think?
It's so important because we're not only, selling them a home, we're also selling the community because we have so much to be proud of. And oftentimes, they're just interviewing many different cities, larger cities too. So whether they choose to come here or not, I think we're a big part of that.
Absolutely.
Helping them.
And I think the other thing is when you're just Googling Rocky Mount, like so many people do if they're moving in, even from Raleigh or across the country like some of these physicians do, they don't necessarily get a picture of the day-to-day impacts that really positively touch your life and the life of your spouse and the life of your children as these people are moving to town. And it's so important to be able to connect with them on things that might interest them, as well as actually the physician candidate.
Very true.
So before we start going into those, I just wanted to get Trevor to go over some of the numbers like she always does, since we just finished the month of January, first month of the year.
Yeah, so, things are strong, but there is a reflection that's a little bit down from last year. So,
it definitely felt like that for the month of January, too.
Well, and here are the homes that are active on the market right now in Nash County. There are 170.
Okay.
And
a lot of new construction.
A lot of new construction in Edgecombe County, 79.
Okay.
Now, just in January, I wanted to pull just January. Last year, there were 72 sold in Nash County. This year, 57.
That's about a 21% decrease, and we certainly felt it. I felt like the end of the year, because what sells or closes in January is not something that often went under contract in January. It went under contract maybe in December or November.
Right.
And there was kind of a little lull at the very end of the year, but I don't want to swear on the morning show, but I swear it has picked up since mid-January. It is.
Yes, we've got so many closings set for February and March. It's definitely picked up.
Yeah, so I'll be curious. Now you know that January was down 21%. I'll be very curious how February and really March are impacted, because it does seem to be, those lower interest rate projections seem to have really positively impacted people's
and
excitement.
Dave Ashman, the lender that was on our show not too long ago, he's he said he was busy all weekend answering calls and helping qualify people. I was up late last night because I'm helping a couple moving here from Hawaii. And they, you know, the time zone is so different.
Right.
They actually are used to calling, you know, at 3 o'clock in the morning because they do a lot of East Coast
Communication.
okay. From over there, but they're excited to come back. And, you know, I'm like, oh my gosh, Hawaii, I've never been there, so I'm quizzing them on, you know, what it's like. And they do miss their family, and so they're coming here for his job. But anyway, that, you know, people from all over are coming and calling, and the phones are definitely ringing.
Well, let's talk about some of the things that we love to tout about our community that you might forget, but hopefully you don't forget. So I'll start. One of the most interesting things that I feel like a physician candidate or truly anyone coming in that I tout is that we have our train station and Amtrak's ability to go. You do not have to change trains. It is truly a 4-hour or less trip to Washington, D.C., same as you can drive it, and Rocky Mount is so perfectly positioned up I-95, but then also the Amtrak station, and I am always so impressed with how many people get so excited about that.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good point to bring up. It wasn't on my list.
I knew it wasn't on yours. Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's great. I know my husband went to look at a boat, and he went from, you know, here
Took
all
the
the way
train?
to Florida. So anyway, that was years ago. But don't you have like some parents that do little birthday parties and whatnot, just on the train? They go from you know, here to Wilson. It's just a great. You're right.
Really cool thing that you just kind of take for granted because we live here, but not every, you know, town has that luxury. All right, what is something you have?
Well, I have Lorema on my list because he's now opened another location. He's this great young entrepreneur that's one of my clients too, Kevin McLaughlin, and he opened his second Lorema at the Mills. So I went there the other day, and it was just charming and delicious, and I'm so proud of him. So that's always good, and the Mills is just you know,
I know that was on both of our list. No, Lorema's fun because every time I take a client there, they always think, well, this feels like it could be in Asheville. Like this is, you know, it has a really cool feel down there. So I totally agree. And obviously the Mills, the whole vibe at the Mills is so fun. And I'm sure what you're doing at the Mills is different than what I'm doing. A tree lighting ceremony with the children is fun, but, you know, obviously having drinks is fun, and music.
And that river and twine, the tiny houses, what a great asset that is for people who are visiting. It's just super.
So I'll tell you, I put something on my list that I knew wasn't on yours. So in Rocky Mount, we have 2 places to roller skate. So I know this may sound like funny, but my children love roller skating, and there are camps at Skyview, and so we've done several of those summer camps, and they were having a class field trip today to Skyview for Valentine's Day. They do STEAM camps, or STEM, however you want to say that, there, and there isn't roller skating in Roanoke Rapids or Wilson or Nashville or Tarboro. So this is truly between Raleigh and Greenville. This is where you would have to go. So I just thought that was kind of, you know,
that's great.
I will sometimes reference it for physicians when they tour, because lots of people have children, and it's a fun outing. It's always fun. Like, what am I going to do with my children here?
It's great. I remember going when mine were little too. It's been around so long. It's great. And Rose Hill was on my list. We already talked about that. I'm so proud to have that venue here, and they also do you know, skeet shooting there. So very beautiful.
All right, my next one is a free activity. So like I said, I have a 9 and 7-year-old, so I love free activities. And Sunset Park is great because it obviously has the tennis courts, and it's fun for them to go. We are not pickleball proficient, but there is a big pickleball group out there. But my children do know how to play tennis a little bit. That's all I know how to do too, but we have a good time out there. But obviously it connects to the Greenway, and the Greenway is really fun to go to walk on, and they love to take it all the way over through Battle Park and kind of off on those rocks and look down at the river. And I don't think that's something that as a community, maybe we take advantage of enough, because Battle Park is really so pretty now, and they've completely overdone those paths, and it's just so nice. So if you haven't done it lately, you should do it, because it is something that not every community has our size.
Right, and in the summer, the train still runs, right?
Yes.
The mini train, they have ice cream.
Yes, and the splash pad. Yep.
Splash pad. I've had, gosh, Nate had a birthday there, so many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So great to mention.
Yeah, no, that's really fun. We've had a few class parties there, but it's also just a fun outing for parents and children. And obviously you can pay to do that, or you can just do some of the free activities. But, it's just kind of nice to be able to mention.
Yes, and on my list is, and during Christmas time, I love to do this every year. There is a wreath class that you can do your Christmas wreaths.
Like Christmas wreaths?
Christmas wreaths,
Okay.
At the Nash County Arboretum, and they actually have it at the farmers market, and they're
Farmers market was on my list.
awesome.
Okay, good.
But it's so neat. We have wonderful master gardeners here, and they bring all the stuff, and you get to make your own wreath, and
That's really cool.
it's
I've
so
never done
fun.
that.
Yeah, it's great.
Man. Well, to the relationship to the classes, Trevor and I have both, not together, but taken classes at Nash Community College. They have obviously a ton of education classes, and then they have a lot of continuing education classes that is truly just hobby and enthusiast. And so I think, and they have children's classes during the summer. So I think those are really fun. If you've never looked at them, there's art classes. There are a ton of cooking classes. My husband and I have done those as a date.
So great.
And that's just fun, because people, when they come in from a larger city, that is something that is often available in a larger place that we even have here too. So we just wanted to make sure that you also know they're really fun and you should try them.
And Edgecombe Community College, I right downtown, I took my continuing ed, my post licensing, took them all there, right downtown. It was great.
That's good. I've taken an art class there, and that was really fun too. All right. That's kind of in the same cultural arts field with the Imperial Center. I think that was on yours, but the Imperial Center, so one of the things we like to make sure that people know is how we do have community theater when we're touring them. Like 9 to 5 is coming up, the Dolly Parton musical, but it's really nice to be able to offer that in our community and just make sure that people are aware.
Yes, of course, the Children's Museum and the Art Gallery, and there's a great
Pottery Studio,
and there's a great gift shop there.
Oh, yes,
beautiful.
Yes. Yeah, and on Sunday afternoons, this is free to the community, and I'm not just trying to reference free, but it is really nice to have resources, and so I usually make sure to share this with people when they're coming to town too, that everything does not, so much about our community is wonderful because it connects with all different levels of socioeconomics.
Yes. Well, and on my list is our wonderful YMCA.
That was on mine too. Yep. Okay.
It's such a, they do so much for the community that I don't think people realize. Lots of children's programs, after school care. It's great, and they really invest in our community in a need that we really helping kids and of course working out is very important.
Yes. The YMCA, I kind of tied these together. So the YMCA and Meals on Wheels and even Salvation Army really try to to reach people who are in need where they are. So, for example, the YMCA even does food distribution boxes, and the Salvation Army obviously has always been a charitable organization that helps those in need through their social work program. And then Meals on Wheels delivering hot meals, and they actually partner with the hospital for those. So one more great connection to.
That's so good. And Sterling, you're on the board now for the Y, aren't you?
And Meals on Wheels and
Meals on
Salvation
Wheels.
Army.
Oh my gosh.
So I really do
See,
love all three of them.
You're so great to, gosh,
Yeah.
invest and help with our community in so many ways. I don't know how you do it all.
Well, and to that, we referenced when we started that both of us have strong loyalties and connections to Boyce Willis and Nash, because truly we feel like their healthcare is superior healthcare, and we certainly want to make sure that we do our part to ensure we have high quality physicians in our community, and physicians who not only come but stay.
And that's one of the big things when people are asking about coming to Rocky Mount. Top of the list is how's healthcare.
Yep,
And it's so
yep.
good that we can
Truly
applaud
speak
that.
to it and tout how wonderful it is. Oh gosh, Trevor, I have 20 more things to talk about, and I realized that we're running out of time.
gosh, well,
What's your last one?
I do have Smith's Red and White on
Oh,
here.
that's fun. People love that.
People come all over the country to get sausage
Sausage,
from there. And
yes.
at Christmas time, oh my gosh, you got to make plans to get in there because the line's so long.
Yes.
And that train that runs around the top.
Yes.
They're just a local-owned great family, and it's a great place to go. I'm sure everyone knows
Smith's
about
Red and White, yes. But we do make sure to reference it. I just, along that, because obviously Smith's Red and White has a restaurant, so there are several local restaurants that I try to make sure we highlight in a tour. For example, Burley and Burger, I Love a Burger, Lurita's, Mario's, just some of the great ones. And then it's fun to be able to say, obviously the Mill, if you're into beer and craft beer, that is your location. But Ben and Barrel does a great job with wine and
So good.
classes and
Yes.
events. And so there's just a lot of opportunity to really network and meet people around what interests you, and that's really one of the things we try to stress.
Yeah, and the Rocky Mount Mills has a run club too.
Oh.
So, and they do one in Nashville on Saturdays and on Wednesdays from the Mills. So, that's a great community of runners, and they meet afterwards, and it's great.
Gosh, I really could keep talking about this, but I know we're about out of time. I hope everyone has a wonderful, or we hope everyone has a wonderful Valentine's Day. I'm glad to be back with Trevor this week, and I'm glad to have her back. So we haven't been together since December.
Right.
So glad to be back together, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.